roadside service, last mile delivery, ride share, food delivery. These are the hustlers and grinders on these Atlanta streets that answer the call.
HerRide, an Atlanta business which sits right at the intersection of safety, trust, and mobility experience for women across the Atlanta metropolitan area. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So Jill, how did you start in this business?
I actually got into doing rideshare by actually being a driver. I moved to Atlanta in 2017, and I originally was trying to go pro for basketball. And so when you're trying to go pro for basketball and you're not like a top lottery draft pick, you kind of have to figure it out. You got to work, you got to make time for your workouts, but you have to work a schedule that can fit all of that around it. And so I found best that gig economy worked out best for my schedule. I could set my own hours. I can make, exactly how much money I need to make every single day, and then I could focus on my workouts for the rest of the day. And so that's what I did. Started driving at night, and I noticed that a lot of women at night were like, I was canceling rides till I recognized a woman's name, telling me whatever story, like crazy rideshare stories that they had, and I was like, dang, this is something that could easily be fixed, I feel like. Why haven't they fixed it yet?
Right.
And 5 years later, I decided to do it myself.
Excellent. So what motivates you to push and grow in this business every day?
One, I am extremely competitive. I played 3 sports in college, and so I just have a natural, competitive attitude or energy. I'm not going to easily quit anything. And also just a passion for women and just how they travel. I'm a woman as well. And so the way that we travel is a lot different than men.
Yeah.
And another man won't know that until he talks to another woman about her travel experience.
Right.
And so being able to provide an alternative option for women in the way that they travel, since we already use rideshare as a preferred way of travel or just a way of travel, is something that's super important to me.
Excellent. So I saw HerRide, listed at the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. I was coming from somewhere and I was going down the escalator and I saw the listing for rideshare and I saw HerRide. How does that make you feel?
Man, that was probably one of the best days of my life. Getting into the Atlanta airport has given us incredible amount of exposure. It wasn't an extremely difficult task, but it took a long time to complete. And so now that we finally have completed it, it just shows that, other options can exist. And when they talk about like duopolies, this is like a direct attack towards a duopoly. Like people think that Lyft and Uber are the only rideshare companies that can compete in these spaces. It's like, no, it's not. Like all you got to do is just find your niche, find your lane, and you can enter it as well. So I love it.
Great. No, I was happy when I kind of saw that, and I was saying to my wife, hey, I know, who runs that? That's nice. It was good. And I kind of felt proud myself, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
I got to be honest with you. That's why I wanted to get your reaction to that. So what kind of drivers are you attracting and why?
So first and foremost, we have only women drivers on our platform. So if you're a woman that does gig economy work, so we're talking about DoorDash, Uber Eats, Amazon Flex, Lyft or Uber, those are the women that we're looking for. Those are the type of drivers I'm looking for. Outside of that, we're looking for safe drivers. Always looking for safe drivers. Why? Because insurance is expensive. And so I always tell you, I'm very transparent with my drivers and even with my customers. If you guys want prices to stay low, you guys need to drive safe. Point blank period. If you guys aren't driving safe, I'm going to have to raise prices because my insurance is going to raise. And so I just let them know that, we are a small business, and so I'm very, very strict on the drivers right now that are on our platform. You have to be a safe driver. You can't have any violations on your record. And you have to be friendly because we're giving rides to people. And it's different than dropping off a package. Dropping off a package, you're not talking to it. They may not ask you about your day, none of that. So having some type of personality and being personable, you don't have to be a bubbly, you don't have to be a cheerleader, but being a personable person is something that I am looking for. Like I'm not looking for mean people to drive vehicles. No.
Obviously, that will impact your brand.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
That's not what you need. Okay. So, and on that question, on that kind of theme that you just mentioned about safety. So safety is often talked about but rarely felt. How does HerRide make it real?
HerRide makes it real by implementing features that, so we can't, I implement features that enhance and promote safety. What I cannot do is prevent crime. And this is what I always tell people. They're like, oh, well, how is what you're doing gonna stop somebody from doing this, doing that? Well, we're not Minority Report. I cannot prevent, if somebody wants to commit a crime, they're going to commit a crime regardless. But like I said, I use technology in a way to enhance that security and make people feel safer. So for example, we have a feature where when a customer books on the platform, they have to take a picture of themselves, a live selfie of themselves. One, it helps the driver find you, especially like in crowded places. But two, if something happens in the vehicle or during the ride, we now know what you look like in real time, not whatever profile picture you decided to upload from 3 years ago, what you look like today, what your hair color looks like today, what your shirt looks like. And so if someone is going to do something nefarious on the platform, they would probably think twice because now we have a picture of you. So it's like doing things like that in order to prevent or to not to encourage, to discourage people from wanting to do those things on our platform. That's what we do.
Oh, I appreciate that. That is really kind of keeping the customer in focus and their safety and well-being. So what are riders, especially women, most concerned about when using rideshare?
The biggest thing that they're concerned about is safety, right? And in terms of safety, it's like for women, getting from point A to point B unbothered truly means that. So some women, especially because they're single, and a lot of guys don't think about this, right? And I know some guys and their rideshare drivers, I've had conversations with them and stuff like that. A lot of guys think that they're just being nice, but some women, because they're single and the way that we just have to move around the world is so different, we don't take it as that. So like you could be driving a woman, you just picked her up from the airport, and a simple question like, oh, are you married, or do you have a boyfriend or something like that? That's kind of like, why are you asking me that? You are my rideshare driver, just get me to where I need to go. Or like asking questions like that are just personally invasive. They're not interested in that. Like one of the features that we have on our platform is a quiet ride option. Because sometimes some drivers do get a little too talkative. And at 4:30 in the morning, I don't want to talk to you. I just want to ride in silence. So just making not only customers and drivers aware of like how different it is for women when they travel. Making them aware of that, and then making it what am I trying to say? Making it is it education that I'm providing? Yeah, providing more so education on just how hard it is for women to travel by themselves or alone, and then these are the best things that you can do to make that easier. So yeah.
No, that's a very good perspective, because especially for drivers that I've rode with, in rideshare, because they spend a lot of time on the road, and sometimes there's durations between when they just are hanging out versus when they actually get a customer to provide service, and they always want to talk. And you bring a very good point to light that some people just don't want to talk, they just want to ride. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So what does a safe ride experience look like from request to drop off?
So from request to drop off is we usually encourage pre-booking in advance because women tend to be pre-planners. So it'll be a pre-booked ride. A driver will claim that ride in our platform. It'll go under an unassigned section. A driver will claim that trip. 20 minutes before the pickup time, it gets dispatched to only that driver that claimed it. The driver is on the way. So from request, like I said, a customer has to take a picture of themselves, live photo. So once it deploys to that driver, dispatches to that driver, only that driver can see that photo, and they can only see it during the duration of the ride. Once the ride is finished, you can't do anything with it. Also, they can't screenshot because again, I think about everything from technology standpoint. There will be no screen. You can't screenshot the pictures, none of that. It's just so you can view. Once they pick them up, drivers have the option to text and or call the customer to let them know that they are outside. Customer gets in, they confirm. We also have added a feature where you have to match the code. So like it'll be a random 4-digit code. Once you give the driver that, then they can start the trip. That's how they know that they have the correct person in the car. And then once the ride completes, the driver ends the trip and the customer ends the trip as well. They submit, you have an option to review. And then you also have an option, if you really like that driver, you can add them as a favorite driver. And so our favorite driver feature is where, say you live in a, I don't know, in a small community or whatever like that, and your aunt doesn't live too far from you and she's an Uber driver and you take Uber every single day to work. Well, you could just have your aunt take you every single day to work and just pay her. So we have it to where you can add a favorite driver and and when you book a ride, if that driver's online, that ride will go directly to that driver.
Excellent, excellent. No, that's great. I love that. So is there a system to service rescue a disabled rideshare vehicle?
Say that one more time.
Is there a system in place? So if one of your drivers breaks down, has a roadside incident, what is the protocol?
We actually don't have one yet. So we, I would like to have one right now because we are operating based out of the Metro Atlanta area. What's that number that you call for roadside assistance where the yellow truck comes? Is it
Hero 522?
Yeah, the 522. So right now, that's our process right now. Is if you are in that area, you can call that for you can call that number for roadside assistance. But we actually don't have one.
Okay, so this is where Jeep Roadside Assistance will talk. Because we're building out our network inside of Atlanta to support HerRide and others in the city, and we're working actually with Hero right now. To service the surface streets outside of the main
that highway.
Yes.
I would love that. That's dope because that's needed. We're talking about blowouts, and then also all my drivers are women, so women not trying to change no tire. Women not we don't know nothing about. I don't know. I just get in the car and I drive it. So we should definitely talk.
You bet. That's to come. So it's not uncommon for families in a roadside breakdown to not all fit into a tow truck. Okay. So one of the things, and I discussed this with you at some point, I think it was via email or something, that we think there's a big opportunity, big value, because I know it's happened many times, where families are broke down and the truck couldn't take them. They had to either call a cab, they had to call rideshare, or they had to call a friend. So, one of the big things I think as an opportunity for HerRide is to be able to take the overflow.
And if there's a way that we can integrate with insurance companies so that is covered through the insurance, because how you pay for roadside assistance, I pay for it on my phone, I pay for it through my insurance. I would love to do that. We need to talk.
We need to talk, because I got a solution talking to State Farm. And others. So we'll talk. Anyhow, that's to come. So what matters more to riders? Is it fast pickup or trusted services?
Trusted services, because we service women, and so they're not so interested in getting picked up the quickest. It's making sure that it's going to be a safe ride and that they will arrive unbothered. Right.
Is trust becoming the new competitive advantage in mobility?
Trust and transparency. I would say trust and transparency.
Right. Excellent. So what's the next evolution for you with the increase in autonomous vehicles, and how will you pivot?
Not too much of a pivot right now. I drive every single day, and I understand the logistics that's needed in order for all cars to become autonomous. Like it's a great concept in theory, but in practice, it's gonna take a lot longer than what they're really hyping it up, and it's gonna take way longer than what they're talking about. So I'm not really interested. What I'm looking for right now in terms of pivot is I'm just focusing on things, and not things, but demographics where people still want people driving them. People still, so in schools, parents still want somebody driving their kids. I'm not really all sold on the fact that a parent will put a kid in a car that no one is driving. Now, when I was in high school, Would my mother have allowed me to do Uber and Lyft? Absolutely not, because the concept of riding with a stranger was crazy.
Yeah.
But there are parents that are putting their 6-year-olds in Lyfts right now.
Right.
So since they're doing that, all right, cool. I want to integrate with the school systems, and I actually want to turn some of those substitute teachers. You got your parapros that work part-time, all these people that have these part-time roles but have already been background checked by the school.
Right.
Turn those people into drivers, offer that as an after-school service or a pickup service or like a concierge service.
Right.
And those parents that don't like waiting in the car pickup line, put your kid in a HerRide, just get them sent home.
Right.
That's one way that we're gonna do it. I'm also focusing on the senior citizens.
Right.
They are not getting into a car with no one driving it. You don't have to tell me twice. So those are the two demos that I'm really focused on. If the AV companies want to focus on everybody else, fine.
Right.
But while they're focused on everybody else, I understand that they're forgetting these two big demographics. And one of the bigger demographics is senior citizens.
Yeah.
The boomers are the biggest generation. I think they are the biggest population of our generation right now.
Yeah.
They're all about to be like
Everybody's
65.
aging,
Yeah, so it's
retiring.
like, why are y'all focusing on getting cars to drive by themselves if they don't even want to call or download the app on their cell phone?
Yeah.
So if there is a huge big trust barrier at that right now. So that's what I'm focused on, is catering to them.
Excellent. So, rideshare apps thoroughly vet drivers better than taxis. Is this fact or fiction?
You say they thoroughly vet them? We do, but everybody else, I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think they do it as often as they need to.
Okay, that's good to know. Drivers have total flexibility over when they work. Is that a fact or is that a fiction?
That's a fact. Yeah. They do. You actually do have total flexibility when you want to work. It's just that also determines how much money you make.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so what does the future look like for HerRide?
The future for HerRide looks pretty bright. I would love to, like I said, remain niche in terms of getting into these spaces that rideshare is ignoring.
Right.
So definitely want to talk about like partnering up with insurance companies so that we can provide rideshare rides to people that break down, partnering up with school systems to give rideshare rides to the schools, partnering up with senior citizen homes and communities to offer the services, because I think there's a transportation voucher program here where if you are a recipient of Medicare, you get up to 16 rides a month.
Okay.
And there's a contract out in Fulton County. It's about $2 million. We are going after that because they gave that to a company that essentially all they are the middlemen. They just call Uber and Lyfts for those people. And I'm like, oh, well, we can do that, but we can do it the right way because women are more patient. A woman driver is probably not going to be upset that grandma's taking too long to come out, of the door. And also because they're getting paid a livable wage, they're not going to be canceling rides, feeling like it's a waste of time. Like they're going to actually follow through and complete the service all the way through. Right. And so that's what I want to. That's the future that I'm looking at, is providing livable wages to people that do gig economy work, and not trying to have them. Actually getting them out of their car less. I don't want drivers driving 8 hours and 12 hours a day for me. I actually want them to make the money that they're trying to make within like a 4-hour time span. If I can do that for them and then they're also making a livable wage, I'm gonna be able to retain drivers better.
Sure.
And so if I can retain all the best drivers, that's my goal. Is I want the best gig economy drivers on my platform, period.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And that is where we will end. So thank you very much,
Thank
Jill,
you.
for being our guest on the ATL Roadwise podcast today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, we need to talk outside of here for sure.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mobility is the heartbeat of Atlanta, Georgia.